It's been cold outside. This weekend we're expecting rain and snow. Now imagine sleeping and living in those conditions. It's what 3 to 4 dozen people underneath the K Street underpass in Northeast have been doing for years. But today they lost their homes. Now one woman is somberly asking, what happens when the displaced are displaced? They'd known this day was coming since the first of the year. They'd stressed over it often, packed up their belongings, and they waited. But nothing could prepare them for this. Time to go. Time to leave the only shelter and home some of them had known for months, and in some cases, years.
I used to have plastic bags piled up to about here with clothes and my tent. I had a really big tent. I had the biggest tent out here.
The end of the pitched tents and people experiencing homelessness at the K and 2nd Street underpass in Northeast DC, an area now routinely called NOMA, is no more. January 16th, the day K Street was cleared. And though they never paid rent, this is still a day that will live in infamy for the people who feel they're now victims of eviction. This passion play lasted more than 3 hours and had no shortage of emotion-charged characters. Volunteers from outreach groups hauled away whatever they were asked to and became a buffer between many of K Street's displaced residents and city officials.
I need everybody to back up, please. I need everybody to back up, please. Out of DPW's way. Excuse me, back up, please.
Several encounters became loud and tense, but eventually everyone moved and everything that stayed was destroyed, literally crushed by garbage trucks. Mike Harris, the self-proclaimed mayor of K Street, was so busy giving interviews, he seemed surprised when the 10 o'clock deadline came and went, and his tent and belongings, including 2 at least 150-pound full dressers and a cot, were still there. Harris ripped a huge hole in his tent and began handing volunteers anything he could.
This is what you call transparency, baby.
When the last pair of pants and dresser drawer had been taken, the very truculent wheelchair-bound man grabbed 2 of his canes and left his tent to be destroyed. He slowly rolled away from his nylon-covered home of the last 8 months for the last time.
Is there any party that's sad leaving?
I'm constantly turning a new leaf, and I'm going to try to remind some of these people who are out here experiencing homelessness that they too can turn a new leaf. Turn a new leaf. Forget some of your negative history, some of your sadness, and move on in life.
Now, the Deputy Mayor's Department of Health and Human Services were portrayed as the bad guy today, but I will give them this. They were very lenient on the 10 a.m. deadline, waiting to okay the trucks to take away everything for at least an hour. Still, so hard to see people in maybe their most difficult moments forced to find somewhere else to be homeless.